All right, let's get this shit show on the road.
Shit show? It's number 100 of our shit shows.
Yay!
Our 100th shit show this week. Hello, audience. I think we may have started now. It's hard to tell when we do this podcast.
Woo!
Yay!
This is A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast.
A what?
I don't remember what I just said. I'm sure it was correct.
A Sound Clown podcast.
And if Chris hasn't edited it out already, this is episode number 100.
Woo!
Or in binary, like 5. 5? 5. 5 sounds right.
What?
Wouldn't it?
There are no 5s in binary.
There's only 0s and 1s. That's why it's binary. Because there's 2.
Oh, if it were binary, it would be the equivalent of...
Oh, 100 would be the number 5, you're saying?
What?
I don't fucking know.
So, like, 0, 1 is 1, and 1, 0 is 2?
Yeah.
So, would that be 0, 1, 0 is 3?
Let's
no,
see.
it's 4, isn't it?
So it would be 100 minus 64
36.
minus 32.
4.
So then...
You're doing the
6,
shocker right now.
So then, hold on. 16...
This is
16,
riveting.
8, 4, 2, 1. So it would be 110010.
That's 5?
No, that's 100.
That's 100.
Oh!
But what's 5?
Why is that? No, 5 would be 101.
Okay,
So
that was
100 is 4.
So the answer was 4. This is
100 was
episode...
4.
Okay,
This is
cool.
episode
You're right.
4, everyone.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're
Yeah.
saying what it looks like in binary. I'm just saying what is the binary for
Well,
100.
that's what we were talking about
I get it.
initially.
Yeah, so yeah, it would be...
It got all...
It would be
This
4
is the
in binary.
riveting humor and Star Trek jokage you've been joining us for all these years now.
Joining us for. You've been
Yeah, for
joining us
over-
for the Star Trek
Well
podcast.
over 2 years now. I am so sorry for you.
You mad bastards. Thank you for sticking with us.
So clearly this has been Ames.
Certainly, this has been Caitlin.
I guess this was Jake.
And this is Chris.
Have a good night.
But don't forget to tip your yeoman. This week, we're
Down the
covering...
garbage chute.
Oh, no.
Like Captain Phasma.
Poor yeoman. This week we're covering 2 TNG episodes.
That suck.
Oh, come on. There was one that was really awkward.
Which one?
Yes.
One had Troy in that nighty. We'll get to that.
Oh, I missed a nighty. There's a nighty?
Oh, there's a nighty.
Oh, no, I remember the nighty. Second episode.
We're covering Galaxy's
Shane
Child.
Nighty?
Jake. No. We're covering Galaxy's Child and Night Terrors. In Galaxy's Child, Leah Brahms has heard so much about Geordi tinkering with the ship that she has to see for herself. And Geordi comes to realize she's nothing at all like he programmed her to be in the holodeck. Including her hair is down. Ooh, so
You
different.
changed your hair, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, you're also not at all into me, which is surprising because I'm the king of class.
Also, why don't you remember that time we spent... Oh, wait.
That wasn't you. That was someone who looks just like you and isn't real. So Brahms is getting creeped on by Geordi for most of the episode. Meanwhile, we meet a giant spaceborne life form. Say that one time fast.
Spaceborne what? Life form?
Yes.
Spaceborne life... Nope.
Yep,
Can't even
see?
say it one
Doesn't
time.
work. No
Can't
one
even say
can
it one
say
time
it.
kind of quickly.
That they spot this big being in space, and Picard gets a boner. He's like, "Oh, a thing! I could name it. I know Livingston is taken, but maybe Livingston will work."
Maybe we could call him Livingston 2. Spaceborne land... Oh, fuck!
Landmine.
I can't almost keep saying, like, landfill. Spaceborne landfill. That's much easier to say.
So the being in space all of a sudden starts to attack the Enterprise with waves of something or other. The CG looked bad. I'm sorry. They're getting there. So they're not getting there. They're not going to get there for many more
Okay.
years. What?
Take a look at Babylon 5 and tell me that the Star Trek CG was bad.
I haven't taken a look at Babylon
Wow.
5, so
It's rough.
rough.
You know, somehow a bunch of Babylon 5 fanatics who never heard of or listened to this podcast, like something in their brains
Their
is going to
ganglia?
go off. Yeah. And they're going to flood to our page before this episode has even been posted to just be like,
I'm not commenting on the quality of Babylon 5 as a show.
No,
as a
I know,
piece of
but the
entertainment.
CG was bad.
The CGA, I don't know how it got in later seasons, because frankly, I only kind of watched the first few episodes and was like, I can't get over this, how shitty it is.
Oh, shit.
But
Well,
they were rough.
we'll have to, when we're done with all of the Star Trek, we'll have to move on to, not Galaxy
Cat,
Quest.
you
We've done
smell.
that.
You are a stinky animal.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be busy.
I just got
then.
a big whiff of cat. Like, he must have just eaten the
Yeah,
fucking
he eats food.
seafood.
He eats food. That's what he does.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, the critter attacks the ship in some bad CG.
Get your stink out of here.
Dude, why do you have to talk about me like that? Super fucked up.
Hi, Pud.
I mean, I guess the one plus is that it is covering up Caitlin's smell.
Yeah,
Anyway.
So
I don't think
anyway.
anything can do that.
Anyway.
So Picard, they have to fire on the thing, and they accidentally kill this life form in space. This cat is standing on my nose.
He's literally, like, twerking his ass against the microphone. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, kitten. So they kill the thing, and they start watching it. This cat is the
He's
worst.
stuck in a loop. It's a Mobius, where time loops in on itself.
The worst part is I don't even know where all this began, so I can't tell you at a point to start from. This
No,
all just has to
it's
sit
not
in.
even
It's
worth it.
hilarious.
Oh, sure, when the cat does it's hilarious. When a fly does it and Jake and I try to fix things, we're assholes.
You've
12
taken it too far.
and a half minutes.
You
Oh, I thought it would be like half an hour.
You act like the fly thing was a joke. It was not a joke. It was very serious, and frankly, I think the episode suffered because of the fly.
Your
The
story
audience has
suffered because of the fly.
It did.
The audience has no idea what we're talking about because I cut the fly incident.
The whole
Oh.
thing? That's
Wow.
good.
Because it was literally 12 and a half minutes.
What a piece of shit.
Anyway.
Stealing
Anyway.
our art from under
As
Why
I
us
don't we
said-
do
again.
that?
Hey.
I have an idea. Why
we
don't
do
we
the
take
fucking
Why don't we take that
synopsis?
bag off the chair and then push the chair in so the cat can't use it as a step to get onto the table?
You think you're so fucking smart.
He'll find that there are other ways onto the table.
Maybe, but it'll be a deterrent.
Okay.
Maybe. Nope.
Yep. He's
Cat
determined.
Mission Impossibles from the ceiling.
So the critter is dead. Long live the critter. Because they realize, oh fuck, it was pregnant, and there's a little one inside that can't break out because they think the whole thing is like an egg that it can just break out of. I don't understand. Cat's back.
Cat, why are you so friend?
Hi, White Cat.
Why do you want to be on the show so much?
This is his episode. He really loves Leah Brahms.
Oh, he's Whitey Brahms.
So with Crusher's help, they perform an emergency C-section on the corpse of the space critter to birth Junior, the baby space critter that immediately imprints on the Enterprise and decides the Enterprise is its mommy. And they're like, fuck, it's draining the energy of the ship. We have to do something about this. Maybe if we go towards where we think it was going, we'll find its home grounds where it can live.
Grandparents.
Yeah, we'll pawn it off on Worf's step-parents like we do with every kid that we find.
It's not a bad idea.
Just all these orphans end up with them.
Alexander, meet new foster brother, unknowable space creature. Unknowable space creature, Alexander. Oh, it is eating town.
Meet the spaceborne life form.
Alexander had it
That is
coming.
much easier to say in a Russian accent.
Good, you did it. So as they're flying around, they make it, or they use Leia's help as she is still on speaking terms with Geordi.
Does she use the Force?
No, they don't, because they are not unable to get the thing off of the Enterprise using whatever hoodly-doo they were talking about in all of their space jargon. So they're failing. The critters eating all of the energy of the ship.
Failing.
Speaking of losing energy in the ship is Leah Brahms when she realizes, oh, you had a program where you just go in and bone me every so often. That's creepy. I don't want to be your friend anymore. And Geordi somehow keeps pestering her about it like it's no big deal.
So Geordi turns himself into the victim somehow.
Yeah, it's an amazing rhetorical fucking leap.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Wow, it was special. But then the two of them work together when they get to the feeding grounds of this critter, and it's like relatives hear them coming and start racing into attack until they think, oh, what if we change the energy something Star Trek babble.
Put some vinegar in baby's milk.
Yup. So after they put vinegar in baby's milk, the critter leaves and goes off with its uncles to frolic and play in space. And Brahms forgives Geordi, and they decide that they're BFFs after all. And don't they have so much in common? And wasn't this all just a laugh and a half? Wasn't it, guys? It was.
She definitely got a restraining order.
Yeah. In Night Terrors, the other episode, we find the USS Bretagne? Was that how it was
Bretagne,
said?
yeah.
Which was a Federation science vessel that had been lost 29 days ago. And they find it, and there's only one crew member still alive in Andrus Hagen, I think, who was a Betazoid science advisor, who they found in a catatonic state. Absolutely out of his fucking mind. And Troy isn't able to get through to him. He seems to be babbling gibberish.
Troy can't get through to him. Shock!
Hey, but listen, she does something important. She senses his terror.
She wears that nightgown.
She flies in a dream.
Yeah.
Where
we'll get to
are
that.
you?
We'll get to that.
find
Listen,
you.
this is only 15 minutes of synopsis so far, so let's keep going. Yeah, so everyone else died, it's seemingly at the hands of each other, and then sat quietly in their chairs to finish dying, so they looked like they were still sitting down. That's a thing that happened. No one questioned it at all.
Nope.
They find a tape of the captain, Chantal Zaheva, who gives this recording that was saying something to the effect of, "Oh, they're all in on it. We're all crazy now. Oh, I'll get them before they can get me. Ha 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 ha."
Oh, so that's why they all died in their chairs. She probably, turned off the life support or something.
Yeah, but they all had,
they're all
wounds
wounded.
and
Yeah,
shit.
so he'd been phasered. Somebody else had been, beaten to death
cut to
with
ribbons.
a fucking sock full of quarters.
It's merely a flesh
Just
wound.
shreds, you say.
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out, well, I guess the Bretagne is a lost cause, so let's just eat all of its food and get out of here.
So here's a question. Sorry. Did they say Bretagne because some asshole didn't know how to pronounce Britain or what?
No.
I mean, considering
That was the name
two
of
of
the
the
ship.
cast are English actors, I think somebody would know how to say Britain.
Yeah, but they realize, oh fuck, we can't get the fuck out of here with all their food and loot, because we seem to be trapped and the engines aren't working and something else. But, and they come to realize, oh, this is a Tychon's Rift, which is a spatial phenomenon that traps the ship in wherever the fuck it is. The Bretagne is stuck, the Enterprise is stuck, they're all going hooey. And after everyone starts going hooey, they start having hallucinations. Livingston's out walking around. They start feeling angry for no reason. They start hearing things that aren't actually there. Troy is having nightmares. And Bev eventually realizes, wait, no one other than Troy has made it to REM sleep. And if you don't make it to REM sleep and dream, you go crazy, which is a thing that my old college roommate really wanted to test on me for some reason, and I didn't let her, because that was the relationship we had.
I actually have heard of a disease that does stop you from making it to REM sleep. I had a friend who had this, or have a friend who has this, and eventually it just kills you. Because you never get more than a couple hours sleep at a time, because you never make it to REM sleep.
Is your friend dead?
No, he's alive.
So he got better.
No, it's just that
They're going to die?
Allegedly, that is something that will probably happen, but everyone dies, right? I don't know what the mortality rate is on it. I just know that he was very vague about it. This is like an Overwatch friend, but he was telling me about it, and I looked it up, and I was like, holy shit, this is a real thing, and it's horrifying. Anyway.
I swear we're almost done with the synopsis. I'm sorry this is so bad. But it also wasn't a great episode. So, after Bev realizes they can't get to REM sleep, after a little while, Troy realizes, well, I can because I'm from Beta Z, and I have special brain thingers in my brain hole. The dream...
That's my favorite hole, the brain hole.
And
Just kidding, it's the butt.
She starts to realize that the dream she's been having is actually a message from what's presumably another ship also trapped in this rift that's trying to tell her something, and she has to figure out what it is, where it's like two eyes smiling and one moon circling and twins, and she's trying to think, I don't know what the fuck it means. And Data's helping, because Data, of course, is not affected by this thing, so he gets to, have fun and be sexy about it. And he helps her realize, as they're looking through all this stuff, that the other ship needs hydrogen. know why it didn't have any hydrogen. It's the most common fucking element, but whatever, it doesn't have any. It really badly needs hydrogen so that it can set off an explosion so that they can get out of this fucking rift. So they realize this, and they release some hydrogen. Troy goes into her dream and is like, oh, I think I was supposed to tell you something about hydrogen, and I forget what it was. Oh, wait, yeah, go ahead and fire. So they blow up the hydrogen, and both ships presumably escape and get the fuck out of there, and everyone gets to take a nap. Well, especially me. The end.
Pretty cool.
Is it?
Galaxy's Child was a garbage fire.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like, here's basically, this is, I know I've said this about other episodes, but this was very much clearly one of those episodes where they were like, well, we got these two different ideas that on their own are each too short.
And bad.
To
Each
be an
idea is also
episode.
bad.
Let's just put them together. They'll hardly dovetail at all. We'll have, like, Leah involved a little bit in the other plot, like, we're acknowledging she's there.
Yeah, it's their science that helps the first plot get figured out.
And let's just
trust someone with CG. That's an idea we've had.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So, for one, I don't think that the idea of Leah Brahms visiting the Enterprise is a terrible idea. I actually think it's a great idea.
No, it's a great idea.
I think it was executed very poorly
So badly.
in a number of ways.
Yeah, it just makes Geordi come off as a rapist.
And in terms of the secondary plot or primary plot, depending on how you look at it, with Junior, it is basically, with the exception of the fact that it's an entity and it needs its mommy, it is essentially the exact same plot, or it has the exact same effect on the plot as the original Leah Brahms episode, Booby Trap, where they were caught in a trap.
That was sucking their energy.
That was sucking their energy and killing them of radiation at the same time.
Yeah.
Holy shit, are you kidding? It was like the exact same?
It was the exact same thing. It was draining their energy, and then it was reflecting the energy back to them in the form of radiation that was going to kill them.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Also, the weird space
Lazy
creatures
fuckers.
reminded me of the weird, like, death ravioli that had ended up coalescing around Spock's coffin.
Death ravioli.
Search
I thought they
for
looked
Spock.
a little bit like what the fuck were the critters
Those
on
other
SETI
space
Alpha 5?
Oh, no.
Oh, the earwigs of doom.
Yeah, those things. It looked a little like the baby ones of those.
I was thinking
but
it
in
looked,
space and giant.
I was thinking it looked like the space ravioli from that TOS episode where they were ravioliing around the set.
Oh, the little brain slugs.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was a little weird? Was the scale of the creatures. Because they were... When we first see the mommy and it's orbiting a planet, it is like, I don't know, it is enormous. Like, it would be...
The size of a city?
Bigger. It would be huge. It would be like the size of Italy in space.
Like if it was actually orbiting that planet, anything that was living on the planet would probably die.
Well, it was just super huge, and it didn't look like a perspective thing. It just looked like a really shitty composition that they did. And then when Junior attaches to the hull, it's pretty small.
No, it's a baby, isn't it?
Yeah, but then...
And the Enterprise is huge.
But the Enterprise is not the size of Italy.
No, it's maybe the size of the Vatican.
So, but either way, the Junior, even though Junior is pretty small, he wasn't that small compared to the adults.
No, that's true.
So it was...
Yeah, right. If he was small enough to attach to the hull, there would have to be like hundreds of him. Like it would have had to have been like a fish situation where it gave birth to a gajillion of the damn things.
I mean, I would say that the adults were no larger than the Enterprise.
Yeah, I feel like there was a reference on the Memory Alpha saying that. I want to say it was like maybe a third the size of the Enterprise, or 3 times. There was a 3 somewhere in this article.
So when they showed the shot of the creature orbiting the planet, it was ridiculous.
Oh, I didn't notice because it's hard to have perspective, like
Yeah, and
to
we know
judge
that
dimension
like
in
scale
space.
on Star Trek is already bad when it comes to like warbirds and Romulans and
and this one wasn't even a model. This was all CG, so it's hard to even like place it.
Is this the first time we get like a major plot element as CG?
Probably, I don't know.
No, weren't those space jellyfish CG?
No, those are models.
Oh, were they?
Yeah,
They were good looking too.
I was gonna say they were better
they're
looking.
like
That
puppets,
explains it.
because they use their arms and shit.
That's true. Yeah, then maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and for an early CG attempt,
There's going to be more and more CG.
oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's TNG never fully embraces it. It shows up more in DS9 when the tech's a little better.
But sometimes,
Yeah, and
I gotta admit, this
Voyager
looked better.
is almost everything is CG in Voyager.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even. There probably is a model Actually, no, it's true. There is a model of Voyager that's shown a lot. And I remember, I think it was a YouTube video that was talking about the models that they had for Voyager, and you can always tell when they're using the CG model because, like, on the physical model, there's extra windows that aren't on the CG model.
One of them's got a tramp stamp, the other one doesn't.
Let's see if I can find that when we get to it. But
one of the physical models misspells it Voyager.
Mm-hmm. Actually, there was some, like, weird shit with some of the rendering where, like, certain textures just didn't render in certain shots. So you'd have shots where, like, sometimes the registry number was missing and things like that.
Nice.
The tech wasn't there. But anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Picard really liked the little critter it sounded like.
Oh, God. Patrick Stewart's face when he killed it.
Oh, he was so sad.
I know.
He was devastated.
All right, shoot at it with phases at lowest power. Pew pew. Picard, you menace! You've killed it, sir.
They'd also never seen something like it. For all he knew, it was like, as is usually the case, the only one that existed. In this case, there are more of them. But
Thank God. I said that on the way over. I was like, oh, but at least it wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Tin Man.
In look, or...
Well, yeah, just in terms of the idea of the living creature, space-faring thing.
Yeah. Similar.
And they mention near the start of the episode that it looks like it may have been constructed. Like,
yeah, they're having trouble.
Like, they weren't
determining.
sure. Like, it might be. It was living. They knew it was living, but they weren't sure if it was something that was built. Evidently, they're born. So,
Say, was it some kind of Borg?
Yeah.
Borg space bug.
So, I don't know. It's a weird. It's like they put a bunch of past plot lines in a hat.
Yep.
Shook it up, and we're like, all right, living space creature from Tin Man.
don't worry, they do the same thing in the other episode, Night Terrors,
energy
too,
and giving off radiation from booby trap. And
Geordi's a creep.
Leah Brahms, also booby trap. All right, here we go.
I liked how Geordi goes down to 10 forward and is like polishing his visor or whatever, and Guinan's like, what's up, Geordi? And he's like, I just have my dream come true. And this look crosses Guinan's face
knows.
oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And she tries to tell him.
Guinan is the only person in the episode that says things that aren't stupid.
Oh, I loved her, your other visor.
Yeah.
Oh,
speech.
yeah, good for
That
her.
was great.
You tell him.
That was the visor that showed you things the way you wanted to see them.
Yeah.
And he's like, shut the fuck up, Guinan.
What do you know?
We're
You're
gonna
only
be
50,000
piffles.
years old.
So, can we talk for a second about Geordi's sweater?
Oh.
It's not as bad as Wesley's.
No. I think it was so bad, in fact, that it's one that Wesley left behind.
It was Wesley's
And, like,
gift.
gave it to Geordi, like, this one's too gross for me to wear at Starfleet Academy, so...
Nothing is too gross for Wesley to wear.
You can have it at Starfleet Academy. Not normally.
The Academy, they have to wear cadet uniforms, so...
There's a brief...
They're
they made a
never
brief
they're
cut.
never in civilian garb.
Yeah, but he also gave all
What
of
does he
his...
sleep in?
Nothing.
Cadet
he also
issue pajamas.
like the Mormons and their fancy underpants. Cadets have special sleeping
What
underpants.
are the Mormons' underpants?
The Mormons have some special underwear that they're supposed to wear.
Yes, it's true.
Why?
So yeah, let's talk about how this episode, like...
Sucked?
Basically, the whole, like... It really drove home just how creepy and gross everything Geordi did was, but then forgives him.
Yeah, like the very, very end, it's... Oh, I guess we can laugh about this now. And she's the one who owes him an apology. Oh...
I'm glad I saw your face when you walked into the holodeck and I found your spank bank.
Oh, that was my face.
That was
looked like.
hilarious.
The worst part is, like, the actor gave the appropriate performance during the scene of discovery. Like,
Okay.
she came off as legitimately, like, enraged and violated.
She
seeming.
said to him,
Yeah.
"You violated me. This is fucked."
Like, you felt like they were going in the right direction, and then they immediately undercut all of that.
Yep.
With Geordi just being like, "You've accused me of the wrong thing." It's like, I mean, all right, yeah, so maybe you didn't fuck Hollow Leah.
No, he did.
Look, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he didn't. Just for this, but even if that,
Maybe that wasn't the
It's all-
program she saw.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's
follow-up question:
still-
did he have one program for every day of the week?
it's still deeply, deeply fucked up, and the episode did not appropriately address her concerns.
Yeah, I was actually convinced at the very, very end when they're doing we're buddies now, that they were pulling a Barkley and then it was just going to be a hollow program of him, of them having their apologies
That would have
together.
been great.
Him crying and masturbating.
It would have been the same thing that Barkley did with his fake everything's okay scenario. But
grabbing one more piece of random backlog of plot points.
True.
There was a line that Geordi had. It was I tried to write it down, but then I waited too long to remember what it actually was. It was something like, my only crime was being nice or something.
Yeah.
My only
being your
crime
friend
was...
I've done the
Trying to
worst
be your
thing another human can do to another. I was nice to you.
No, I think...
I wanted a friend. I thought we could connect, or whatever the fuck it was.
Well, Guinan is the one who said she did the worst thing a human can do to another person, which is not
didn't live up to
living up to your expectations.
That's a good line.
yeah,
You
she
get it,
said that,
Guinan.
but then in the holodeck,
Yeah, she did.
Geordi
She said,
turned it around on
No, I know,
her.
but I think he said something like, I commit a crime, the worst crime you can, or some bullshit. But I don't remember what he said it was.
It was something
It was
in
like
that
it was
vein.
like
I just wanted to be your friend.
I put in so much nice, damn it.
Yeah,
Put
no,
out
it's-
sex. The
also,
sex
like-
vending machine isn't working right.
And from the off, the episode is like stacking things against Brahms, like for the audience.
oh yeah, they make her a total bitch.
Like she's immediately just so.
as soon as she beams
Grumpy.
on board, she doesn't like. She beams on board, and the first thing she says is, "Oh, so you're the one that's been fucking up my engines."
Yeah.
And then she just walks out without another moment.
And it is, not unreasonable that, like, yeah, in the field we're gonna find out shit that
Yeah.
we couldn't. That's
You're-
not an
you're-
unreasonable belief.
You're in space dock somewhere working on it in a vacuum. We're
Yeah.
out here actually doing shit. We're gonna find, we're gonna kludge some stuff together that works better.
Yeah. And also, Geordi is such an abysmal liar.
Go on.
Because, like, you're like, wait, how did you know all this? Like, all this shit was in the public records. All he had to do was
Yeah.
say, it was in the public records,
Oh, you
without
can't-
saying, I made a holo program of you.
Oh, your hair is different. How would you know?
I saw a picture of you once in the
Yeah.
newspaper.
Like, he eventually
I've been
falls-
studying your quote-unquote schematics.
Yeah, but he didn't come up with that until most of the way through the episode. Like, how did you know that was supposed to be on the next class of starship? It was in the public record.
Yep.
Like, that's all you have to say, Geordi. You
Yeah.
say, we had this crisis. I looked in the public record. There it was. Not that, again, it forgives anything else about him. It's like, on top of being a creep, he's also a terrible liar, which I guess she should be grateful for. But my God.
Well, also, I think there's one thing, though, and I don't know, maybe this is a choice that LeVar Burton made in his portrayal of his character, just because I have to give LeVar Burton a little bit of leeway because he cannot use his eyes to act, which is
Fucking hard.
like giving breaking, kneecapping an actor, because the eyes are pretty important.
He has to do all that with his voice and his
Wait,
intonation.
I just want to say though, have you ever seen a movie called V for Vendetta? Because Hugo Weaving did more emoting with a fucking mask covering his entire face than most actors with their entire everything.
That movie's garbage, though.
What the fuck did you say?
I mean, yes, there are also just dedicated voice actors who do
Yeah.
Dude.
a lot. But, yes, for an actor who's used to being on screen, that is a major
This is
hindrance.
his fourth year of not being able to use his eyes to emote. You'd think you adapt.
But like,
Yeah, but there's still an uphill struggle. Which,
well, and I think his approach to adapting is to overemphasize emotion with his facial expressions,
His face.
with his face.
His face.
Because he definitely, I noticed this in the first Leah Brahms episode when he was on the holodeck with Chrissy. Was that her name? Chrissy?
yes,
Yeah.
the
Coco
Coco
Ono.
Onos.
Coco Onos. When she rejects him, he does like this really over-exaggerated. That's the noise that goes with the face. He didn't make the noise, but he
No.
made the face. And he did the same fucking thing when they were in the Jeffries tube, and she's like, "Oh, I'm married," and he's like,
I didn't notice that.
It was like this big, over-exaggerated, like, no normal person. When you hear something disappointing like that, you just like you're like, oh, inside your
grit
heart is like dissolving, but on the outside you're like, oh, well, that's wonderful.
You grit your
I
teeth
didn't,
a little
I didn't
harder
know
and
that.
your smile.
I didn't know that, but your husband's a very lucky man, or whatever you're gonna say.
I know.
But
Instead, he's like, no,
Ugh.
but you're my sex
my
object.
fucking
What you're saying is LeVar Burton suffers from the Power Rangers problem.
yeah.
Where it's like they know their whole face is hidden, so they
Like how like the fucking Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I cannot watch that movie because of how the Green Goblin like acts like a fucking Power Rangers villain.
Oh,
Oh
Christ.
my! What just happened?
He just destroyed the microphone.
And
What?
Caitlin.
What's the matter?
I'm glad someone laughs at Jake.
I don't know what I did.
I mean, it was funny, but I think she's slightly overreacting.
I don't know.
Jake gesticulated, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, like he does. He often does.
Jake gesticulated.
Not on anybody.
He Jake, put it away. I'm sorry.
Do that in your own room.
Technically, this is your room.
That's true. I could gesticulate anytime I want.
Well, no, this is a public space, so it's his and Amy's room.
Oh my
I allow it.
All right, then. Anything goes in the 100th episode.
Three times a day.
She's not exactly Hitler. Then more like Goebbels. She's not quite so bad. She lets you jerk off in the fucking dining room.
Don't worry, we don't actually eat in here.
But we just did tonight.
That doesn't count.
I ate in here.
Ah,
I don't even want to know what you did to the plates. I'm sorry. The Green Goblin killed me.
he tried to kill Aunt May.
Well, partly because I started to picture and remember how fucking awful the green... because... I'm sorry, this is a tangent, and you're probably going to cut it anyway. But the thing about the Spider-Man movie is the original Spider-Man movie, I remember it, through these rose-tinted glasses. Oh, yeah, Tobey Maguire did a great job being oh, no, I have powers. Rock on, Webb. Haha, that was cute. Great. And, Uncle Ben died, and that was sad, and Auntie May was old and you felt sorry for her and she tried to get that free toaster but she didn't have enough money to put in the savings account.
That was 2.
It was?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
She couldn't afford toast, but she's got this toaster. No!
And Kirsten Dunst was
I've got toast,
snaggletooth
but I'm
wretch.
not a
toaster.
toaster.
That's the fucking blame for musical improv.
Okay, that's magical.
But the point is this whole movie is great, and then fucking Willem Dafoe shows up in this fucking cartoonish, like you said, Power Rangers-esque piece of shit, obviously plastic, awful thing. And oh my god, I'm sorry. I want to rewatch that movie right now.
Back in the days before Aunt May was hot.
What?
Marissa Tomei, dude. Marissa
Oh,
Tomei.
really?
Yeah, she's
is-
not
I
May now.
haven't seen any. I think the last Spider-Man film I actually saw was 2.
That was
That's for the
a good
best.
place
With
to
the-
stop
with
because
the-
3 was
The Andrew
awful.
Garfield ones.
Dr. Octopus.
The Andrew Garfield ones are fucking abysmal. But the new kid is good, and Marissa Tomei is Aunt May. Anyway,
Worf had my favorite line in this episode. Mm-hmm. They're changing color.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Thanks,
was a good
thanks,
line.
Worf.
He had the best line in the next one too.
What was that line?
I'm no longer a warrior. I feel fear. And
Oh, well, that's an actual good line.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
They're
It was a good
changing.
line.
They're changing color. Is Worf saying a thing that's happening that shouldn't have any bearing to what he's
No,
reporting
that's
on?
true. Although he has yet to top good tea, nice house.
So in light of current events,
Ew.
this whole episode, I don't know how, I feel like I've seen this episode before, and I wasn't...
Are we still talking Galaxy's Child? Or are we
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen this episode
Specifically
before,
Geordi being a
and I
creeper.
remember being Geordi's a creeper, but I don't remember having as visceral a negative reaction to the resolution.
Yeah.
I feel like I was always just Geordi's creeping on women, and that's creepy.
Yeah,
But
to make it okay.
But to make it okay in the end, in light of all the Me Too stuff and everything that's kind of going on in the public conversation today, just makes that ending
This
highlights how
Quickie.
horrible it is.
This had always aged poorly.
Yeah.
This is now aged as poorly, probably, as Code of Honor.
I just want to congratulate you, Jake. This day, you are truly woke.
I am woke. I don't know what that means.
Yes, you do.
It means you're socially conscious.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're
We should
welcome.
have a
I
week
feel
for this
like
episode.
everybody is to some extent, right?
No, but I think that being a man and recognizing why this is not okay, it's a low threshold, but I think it counts.
Well, I'm glad I passed the bar.
You did. With
And I'm a
flying
lawyer now.
colors. You are,
Yes.
but only in the state of Massachusetts. If you want to sit and then serve in another bar, another state, you're going to have to take the bar for that.
Do you know
state.
that there is a multi-state bar?
I did know that. Yeah.
With a lot of,
And
like-
last I checked, Massachusetts was not on that list.
I
Of
don't
course,
but
we love being difficult.
when I worked at a local law school, I think there were like 10 or 12 on the list.
And I think more join. I think Massachusetts might be like
They might be on it
into
now.
that. I don't know
Yeah.
if they are yet, but I know there's a friend of mine who is a listener had a family member that recently passed the multi-state bar.
Oh,
Congratulations.
congratulations.
Listen- Listener's family member.
What's the significance of having the multi-state bar?
So
is
it means-
it knowing different stuff?
It's just
or-
basically a bunch of states got together and were like, all right, well, we all have the bar exam. The law is basically the same.
What about the laws that aren't the same
Well,
state to state?
the bar isn't. I mean, someone can write in if I'm wrong about this, but the bar isn't necessarily all of the laws of a given state.
No,
It's-
because laws change constantly.
and a lot of it is like precedent and like
Yeah.
case law and stuff like
All
that.
ducks must wear pants.
So like, really, the bar I think is more about do you understand how the law works and
Yeah.
in a way that you can practice it effectively.
no one does.
Yeah. Well, and that's why so many law firms have, most of their lawyers don't even ever actually argue. It's just their job to sit in the back room with those giant law books, like in the movies,
Yeah.
to tell the argue lawyers what to say.
Yeah.
So, are we done with being creeped out by Geordi, and should we
I'm
move
sure
on
we'll
to
be creeped
creepy
on
dreams?
again.
Yes, we
Do
will.
we meet her
At
again?
least one.
Do we
don't-
see
I don't
her
think,
again?
I don't think we ever meet.
Not as
we
this
see,
character.
Yeah, we see this actress again in DS9.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in the holodeck.
But
Geordi does.
But Geordi, not with this particular lady, but there is at least one more Geordi creeps on a girl episode.
Dude, why?
Because like Geordi is not a great guy.
I don't understand. Okay, here's the thing, though. Here's what I don't get. Like, why is Geordi so undateable? And I'll tell you why I say this. Because I have known lots of guys that are way worse than Geordi who have girlfriends. And it's like the future, right? So theoretically, the fact that he's blind and has a weird visor isn't the problem, right?
I don't think so.
No.
Like, we live in a...
No, it's just that have you seen him around women? He's
Yeah,
incompetent.
he's really awkward.
Yeah, but there's someone out there that would love that.
Yeah, but I also
There's someone out there that would just think it was the cutest thing that he was a fucking
But
creep
on the
facility.
Enterprise?
But he might also be punching above his weight in a lot of ways. Because, like, look at the women that he's going after. Like,
Who the fuck is Chrissy?
she was
He's-
attractive. Like,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, okay, first of all, let's just
Look, we
you do
know
not need to be a good
we
look-
know he's
but-
not her type because she winds up with Tommy Callahan.
what I'm saying is that, like,
Ah.
like he's probably not going after women that would go for him normally.
So what I'm saying is like, have you seen all these fat fucks who are married to models?
They're rich fat fucks.
He's like the fucking there's no money in the future, so you don't have to be rich.
Exactly. So,
But he's
so
like
that's
the
gonna
chief-
suck for ugly people.
No, it's all good. You see what they
O'Brien
did
made
for-
out okay. Actually, no, we got Keiko.
Ugh, yikes. But you've seen how easy it is for them to do like facial reconstruction surgery to make Riker look like a Romulan or whatever.
That's true.
I'm
There's
sure
no
that
reason to be ugly in the
exactly. You just replicate a whole
You
new
just
face.
choose to be.
But the point is that Geordi's like the chief medical engineer, whatever the fuck he is.
Chief engineer.
I know, I'm just kidding, because CMO, I don't know. I just wanted to say that. The point is, he's like the chief engineer on like the flagship motherfucking ship in the whole fleet. Flagship ship? That doesn't make any sense.
Ship.
Doesn't make any sense. The point is, the Enterprise is like a hot shit ship, and he's the mechanic on the hot shit ship.
Yeah,
And
but
people should be throwing pussy at him.
But
That's all I'm
but
saying.
okay, here's the thing, right? He might be doing that.
He
but
was no
look at the
Argyle.
people. Yeah, I say look at the people that were in that job before him. Argyle, not a catch.
Argyle,
Guys, wait a
Argyle
minute.
raked in
McDougal?
tail like crazy.
Argyle
McDougal?
was so
Oh, boy.
awesome. Argyle was so great that people who hadn't even seen him on TV yet knew he was the best.
That's true.
If that does not speak to how awesome Argyle was,
I've heard
I
about
don't know
this.
what the fuck you're saying.
Write-in campaign, save Argyle.
Oh, God. That's our guy, Argyle. The point is, Geordi should find some fucking weirdo on the ship. There's gotta be someone who's into that weird shit. And there's like 1,000 people on the ship. There's gotta be someone.
In DS9, Rom gets a catch of a woman, and he's Rom.
I don't know who Rom is.
Ferengi.
You'll see him soon.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. But
Was
like,
she good at
there's
the-
some weird fucking Me Too shit involved with the Dabo girls too, though. So we should.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's not gonna. Anyway,
What's it called
Yes.
when they jerk off their ears? Umlocks?
Umag.
Umlocks.
so Night Terrors.
Night Terrors.
Night terrors.
So yeah, apparently, this was a needlessly complicated episode. That apparently there was 9 minutes of extra footage that had to be cut because it just went along so slowly. So there was somehow even more stuff to this script.
If only we had a way to cause a huge explosion. Like a starship we don't need anyway, loaded with matter and antimatter.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's brilliant.
That was my first thought.
Yeah.
Just blow up the Britain.
Well, my thought
But it's
was
full
that
of corpses.
my thought-
No, they took the corpses
there was,
off.
Yeah, they only had like a crew of 30 or something.
Yeah, it was an oddly small Miranda class.
But I guess
They redressed the Reliant for
yeah,
it.
I guess Khan was able to take
Yeah.
over the Reliant with fewer than 30.
Oh, also, that bridge? What the fuck was that bridge?
It looked like a redress of like the Romulan
Right, yeah.
ship or something.
It was mint green and sky blue at a few spots. There was a giant pylon, which they never showed it from quite the right angle for you to realize it, but would have been directly in the line of sight of whoever was at the back station they all beamed in behind.
It may have been a redress of the
Reliant.
The bridge
Oh.
may have been a redress of the Klingon Bird of Prey set from Star Trek 6.
Maybe.
I feel like I would have read this. I don't think I
don't know.
read this.
Because
But-
I just read, or I guess it was what's his name?
Also, Star Trek 6 hasn't had
Not
it yet. I don't
six,
think.
not six.
The one from 3?
The one from 3.
Mm.
But I guess if they still had that set, they would have used it in other movies. They
Maybe.
never did.
Yeah, no. They
But
completely
anyway,
redid it
because that I
before.
remember had the same basic shape with like
Yeah,
the
that's
big.
true.
There's like a big weird dome in the ceiling, inverted dome.
But yeah, no, there was like a random pylon that would have blocked the view screen for a bunch of
Listen,
people.
they were all going crazy from lack of sleep. They just put pylons anyway.
No, they were going crazy from their shitty bridge design.
So the
Also-
Reliant had basically the same bridge as the Enterprise.
Yeah,
which
well, it
makes
was
sense.
the same bridge. If they just redressed it. This was like a redress of something else, like you said, and it's just hideous. Hideous, hideous, hideous.
But they have like the Battle Bridge set. Why don't they just use that?
That's an
Whatever.
excellent fucking question. It was terrible.
Point is, yeah, I had
But there's
assumed
a
that the
point.
reason that they didn't send
there?
the Britain
Allegedly.
was because its power reserves had been fully drained.
Yeah, but it probably still had some matter and antimatter
Yeah,
kicking around.
but yeah,
you don't need a lot of that to make a huge explosion.
It's true. I had
Or
the same
fuck, just-
thought, but like, yeah.
Just take a gram each from the Enterprise and just like... When you need a big
Clack it
fuck-off
together.
explosion and you've just got a spare starship sitting around,
Get rid of
that's
it.
your
You
solution.
use it. Yeah, I thought for sure, as soon as they're like, we need a big explosion,
Yeah.
I thought for sure that was going to be what happened.
Overload the Britain.
And like, this is, did Ryan Johnson, was that his name?
What?
Ryan?
The
Star Trek
Episode 8 guy?
Yeah. Is that his name, Ryan Johnson?
yes.
Did he direct this? Because he subverted my expectations all over the place. Because,
Oh, you mean Star Wars?
yeah.
You may have said Star Trek, and I got
Whatever.
confused.
I also think you said
But you know
Star
who
Trek.
Ryan Johnson is?
No.
Rihanna.
He's the guy that
The guy that
directed
Directed Last
subverts
Jedi.
expectations.
He did Last
Mr.
Jedi.
Subversion.
Why did you call him Rihanna?
His name
That's
is
what I called
Ryan,
him
but it's
during-
spelled
when we-
R-I-A-N.
When we did the 10 forward, I kept calling him Rihanna as a joke. Because
Oh.
his name is kind
Because
of...
Jake thinks he's hilarious.
I am.
No. Jake knows he is.
Yeah, no. So Ryan Johnson directed this, I think, because...
Why do you think that? Because I think they just reused all old ideas like they did
Well,
in Galaxy's Child,
Because,
too.
for one, they subverted the expectation that they were just going to set the Britain to self-destruct and send that in. Then they subverted the expectation that it was like a malevolent force and turned it into actually good, weird aliens that we never see.
In a stupid ship.
And they're
I never got the impression there was a
floating
malevolent
gummy bear
force.
ship.
You didn't?
No.
Because it was like,
Yeah, like this is as close as I think we've gotten
That's just what's
to
in Troy's
a-
mind.
to a
all the time.
Halloween episode. I don't know when this
Yeah.
aired.
I
Probably
bet Ames does.
March 31st, 1991.
So, it
God
is
damn it,
not a
Star
Halloween
Trek.
episode, but it should have aired on Halloween because
It
this
should.
is basically a horror episode, like the scene with Crusher and the bodies.
Yep.
That was
scary.
creepy. That was actually an interesting scene.
The
it was
voices.
generally dumb, but that guy thinking that there was people still on the ship.
Picard in the turbo lift freaking out.
Oh yeah, where he was afraid of all the different camera techniques they used. Oh God! Zoom in! Ah!
So, And then, of course, that amazing dream sequence. Where are you?
No, see, Marina Sirtis is apparently terrified of heights, so having to string her up and fly her around, that was pure terror for the whole time she was doing that.
They actually, lifted her high off the ground?
I don't know how high. I mean, you could probably just hover her an inch
Seriously, they
above
could have
the
put her on
ground.
a blue table and just chroma keyed out the table. She would have been fine, the dumb bastards.
It was also a really shitty effect.
That too.
Yeah, it looked really... Whenever she was flying away and just watching her butt go by, it's like, oh, there
That's
goes
the
her
thing.
butt.
It was done so poorly. I feel horrible they did that to her, because I was not under the impression they'd strung her up. I literally just thought they had her lean on something.
Yeah, she
and they just
hated
edited out
it.
whatever... Jesus Christ, Star Trek. First you make the woman wear those horrible outfits for however many years, and then you string her up for an effect that's not worth it. Well done, you dingbats.
Hey, but at least they never did to her what they did to Bev's hair in First Contact.
With the blonde.
God, it was awful.
Yeah, they gave her like a mom cut.
She's been a mom
It
this
was
whole
like the, it
time.
was the shitty highlights that really...
Well, it was 1997. That's just what hair was doing
But it
at
was
the moment.
96.
Either way,
Either way, it was the late 90s.
Which
hair
means
was
it would have
dumb.
been filmed in
can
95.
we make Gates McFadden look like Jennifer Aniston?
They try. She's still pretty.
Yeah,
Who? Jennifer Aniston?
and Gates.
I mean, sure, but Gates is pretty.
Oh, come on. You only hate Jennifer Aniston because you worked in a library when Brad Pitt broke up with her.
Oh no, I've gotten over that.
What was wrong with the library?
She just doesn't do it for me. I just was so sick of the magazine covers about the breakup.
Oh, I see. I was gonna
'Cause it
say
was
oh no, I could have a chance with her, but I'm stuck in this library.
No, I was the one in charge of swapping out the magazines when the new ones came
Oh, okay,
in,
that makes
and
sense.
every
I wouldn't put in my mind that libraries care about newspapers.
they were magazines.
Same difference.
They keep magazines.
It was a way to keep people
Periodicals.
interested because they're mostly trash magazines, which is why so many covers were Jennifer Aniston and her divorce.
Fake news.
But no, that aside, she never did it for me. Kind of generically pretty.
Perfectly average actress.
Yeah, generically pretty.
No, she has kind of a weird face.
Fair enough.
There's something unusual about the shape of her face.
Oh, I
Never
think she's
noticed.
got
I
a
think it's just the
typical
dumb
actress
haircuts.
face.
See, I don't see
Well,
that.
she's very attractive.
She is attractive. I just don't think she's not that carbon copy actress pretty.
Really, I think she's.
No, yeah, I think she's
fairly
very
typical.
carbon copy.
I can't think of anyone that looks like her.
Brooke Shields.
That's quick. Anyway,
I don't know what Brooke Shields look like.
not the point. What were we talking about?
Gates McFadden.
Right.
And
Stringing
her creepy horror scene with all the bodies.
Yeah. Stringing up poor Marina Sirtis.
We gotta
Worf.
stop using the term "stringing up." That means to hang.
That is true.
So we need to be less of that, please.
Worf was gonna commit Klingon seppuku. Apparently,
I
just
know.
always has his
So wait,
ritualistic wine at the ready, just in case.
There was a random scene where they're having a meeting. Worf comes in and says,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, sorry, I was late," and then they never explain what the
Yeah.
hell that was
I'm
about.
guessing that's one of those scenes.
One of those
cut.
9 minutes that was cut was what Worf has been up to this whole time.
Yeah, I assume he had to break
He
up a
was
fight or
gesticulating.
something. Or gesticulating, yeah. I figured he had to break up one of the many brawls that was breaking out.
He was dressing up like the Green Goblin and terrorizing people. And gesticulating.
It's funny, because as much as happened in this episode, nothing happened, and it did feel like a lot of stuff wasn't explained.
Yeah, I think there was just way too much stuff, and then they tried to cut it down to fit, and it just meant that all the things like the riot in 10 Forward with the guy that
Not
Guinan had to
necessary.
subdue. Yeah, there was a point in my
No,
notes.
it was necessary.
I
No,
actually
it
write
wasn't.
in my notes, whatever happened to the plot in 10 Forward? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, but guys, we got to see Guinan be like, not in my motherfucking bar.
But it was so stupid. She brings out this comical-looking alien weapon. That,
Child's toy, painted gold.
Yeah, it looked really...
Literally.
The gun looked bad. The
It did.
effect of, the sparks
Oh,
falling
that was
down
so terrible.
was really bad.
That looked like
I've seen
something...
lots of memes of that.
I feel like that's something that you would see now, like a 13-year-old doing my first YouTube video
Yeah.
would, have those
It's
sparks.
definitely shades of shitty After Effects.
Yeah.
Well, but, what was weird was, when I had to actually go back and rewatch it, because at first I thought she actually just fucking, vaporized someone? Because I heard, pew, psh, and I was like,
Oh,
she's like, you want to see setting number 2? And I was like, holy shit! Rewinds. Oh, that's a letdown.
I did not find... I think that whole subplot could have got cut and we wouldn't have lost
Yeah,
it.
nothing.
And
There'd be nothing lost.
The random scene with O'Brien
Oh,
kind of
Keiko.
angry at Keiko.
Yeah, that, like...
No reason.
Keiko, you're cheating on me with Corbin.
Who you'll make any excuse to hang out with,
Like-
even though we've never heard of him
Yeah, that's because she
before.
hates you, Miles. We
would've-
know this.
Between Worf, Picard, and Troy, we have all of the, the scenes of people having a mental breakdown that we need. We do not need O'Brien. We do not need random yellow shirt number 4, and we certainly do not need Keiko in any episode, honestly.
But
Although
you know what
it was...
we did need Riker being like, I have found myself being a little grumpy.
What we needed was Riker's unkempt, disheveled look that he had throughout the episode, progressively worse.
But everyone...
that did look good. He looked disgusting by the end.
He didn't look that good to start with.
During the
That's
end
not
thing,
nice.
though...
No, I'm just kidding. I don't mean
Jonathan
it.
Franks is an attractive man.
Well, he was.
Yeah, he never did it for me.
That beard, though. Good beard.
Well, a wife.
You see, one thing I did... I don't know what it was, but for some reason, there was the dickhead yellow shirt who started the to-do and 10 forward. But, like, behind him and to his left, in the same, like, in that end scene, there's, like, this random blue shirt who either is wearing the world's worst wig or has combed his hair in a very unfortunate manner, because it looks like he's wearing a terrible toupee.
Oh, I missed this guy.
Back and to the left?
Yes. And I just
Yo,
really
it's
wanted to see him get sucker punched. He just had a punchable face.
I want to know what writer on staff is responsible for the myriad "the power's being drained" episodes.
Or we're all going crazy and are angry episodes.
Well, that hasn't
there was
happened
another
all
one.
the time.
What was the other one that was recently where everyone was angry and had to punch people out, but not everyone was affected?
Oh, Sarek.
That's
His
right, yeah.
brain was
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
off
That made
heat waves.
sense.
It was also a good episode.
And,
This is the
and
second-
Naked Now.
Naked Now.
Where everyone's drunk.
That's the
and
thing.
naked.
Random power drains go back to
God damn you,
TOS.
Cat.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, having it be the plot, like,
Oh, yeah.
it is such a crutch of a plot
It's so
device.
lazy.
It's like, well, we need, like, we can't really write the story because the ship could just fly away. Well, how do we make the ship stay? Well, let's come up with an interesting...
Tholian Web.
Let's come up with an interesting new plot device. How about they're just caught in something that's draining their power? All right, that works too.
Yep. Check.
Oh, yeah, it's 4:30 on a Friday. We'd like to leave early. That'll do. We'll write this one on Monday.
I
Yeah.
have a white cat. and I'm
White
very
Cat is here
happy.
being a little puppy cat.
Oh, my good boy.
But yeah, no, like the minute power drain is involved, it's like, oh, there is a 95% chance this episode's going to be boring as fuck.
And I'm not saying all Power Drain episodes are bad.
Well, that's why I said 95, not 100.
But like,
Hashtag not all power drain episodes.
yeah. I mean, I think that Booby Trap was quite good.
Yeah.
I thought it was too much techno battle.
What's up, white cat? You got itchy ear?
Yeah, he's got that ear. He's on ear med right now.
He's irritated.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to, like... It's amazing how much and how little happened all at once in this episode.
I know. I wrote down. Oh no, ghost ship. And I also wrote, whoops, Troy's on drugs.
You know what made this episode 1,000 times better? Is that, Data's like...
Literally anything.
Yes.
Data with a beard.
Data goes like, Captain, in my study of various fictional detectives, I have come across some that dealt with seemingly supernatural occasions that turned out not to be so. And then Data runs a Scooby-Doo program. He's Shaggy.
I was hoping, so I didn't hear the fake supernatural, so then I thought of,
Or that. I just like the idea, Ames, because you looked a little nonplussed, of the idea of Data trying to play a stoner and just how badly that would go.
Anyone trying to play a stoner goes badly.
I don't know, Shaggy did a pretty good job.
Does that mean he'd make Riker be Freddy?
Oh, absolutely. Riker would be a great Freddy, I think.
I am glad that the source of the distress wasn't supernatural.
Oh, yeah.
But I would have liked it if... Like, it would have been interesting if they had carried on a little bit more with people believing that it might be supernatural. Like, that could have been an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just didn't know what to think the whole time things were happening because it's like they're all going crazy and I don't, and there's too much going on to like focus on any one thing.
Yeah.
Like we had Riker being like, oh, don't you feel like someone's been watching you? Cat has my cards. Hang on.
See, I didn't need that whole Riker plot.
And Riker goes into his quarters to masturbate, and then he's like, oh, someone's watching. This just helps. I'm already there.
It was Sting,
And then
wasn't
there
it?
was like random snakes.
Yep, for no reason.
Random bed
No, that's
snakes.
like there were random snakes. There's too many fucking things.
Guys, there's nothing random about
See,
bed
that's
snakes, okay?
See, that's getting us to be a little bit where no one has gone before. Where it's just all kinds of just random shit happening. It's just an assemblage of different episodes that came before.
Yeah. What was also annoying was the random footsteps Riker kept hearing in his quarters were like a foot on a plank of loose wood. It's like, this is a starship. Like, he's got to know that's fake because he knows his house isn't made of wood.
But maybe he installed special stuff to create wood-sounding Foley to remind him of the good times back
Actually,
home.
he would, like, have a special wood floor put down beneath his carpet just so he could be to, talk to women and be like, notice it feels different? There's wood underneath. It makes it more real. Speaking of wood.
Is that, I was gonna say, is that what he, is that what he says when they're getting ready to give him a hand job as well? Like, there's wood under there,
That's
baby.
not what I was going for, but I realized where I had to take it.
So did I misunderstand the episode, or is the entire source of everybody's hallucinations just sleep deprivation?
Yeah, and they're
Caused by the other aliens.
Yeah, and they're being sleep deprived because they're on a different frequency so that Troy's dream will work.
So, like, I can understand, if you haven't slept for days, starting to freak out a little bit, but like,
I haven't reached REM sleep. They still sleep.
Well, yeah, but isn't it true that you really only the only restful sleep is REM sleep?
I have no idea.
I don't think it's the only restful sleep, but I think that you don't...
It's the sleep that keeps you sane.
Yeah, it's the important sleep. It is the important sleep. I don't think it's the only restful sleep, but it is, like, the most important. But also, can I tell you what bothered me? They keep calling it fucking REM. Who the fuck calls it REM sleep? You
I
call
call
it...
it REM sleep.
I use
it
REM
was
sleep.
the
I
early
say-
90s.
I
The
say,
band
yeah.
was big. You
And
know.
That's what I was
Also-
thinking, like, it's REM sleep. It's the end of the world, and we know it. Yeah.
And I slept well.
Says Data.
You say and I know it.
Yeah, I fucked up the words.
Okay, so actually, this does bring me to something else, right? It's
I
like,
fucked it up.
Mr. Data,
Fucking idiot.
we're pretty sure you're the only one not affected. Guinan didn't seem terribly effective.
Were there any Vulcans on board?
Well,
I'm sure
like,
if there are Vulcans,
I've
they're
never-
fine.
I've
they're
never seen her
always
shoot a
fine.
gun.
You're telling
before.
me the only... Well, she never had it. Well, yeah, no. The other time the
No,
riot broke out in
that's
10
always
she
been
wasn't
under
there.
there. That's always been under there.
Yeah. But you're telling me Beta Zeds are the only species on the ship that have a different REM frequency than humans?
No, we already determined that there's only 13 other species on the ship.
That's what I mean. Like, Vulcans just have superpowers as needed. Like you said, there are Vulcans on board.
I'm sure Solar's fine.
What a better episode would have been is, like, most of the crew is, like, completely out of it. So it's, like, Data, the Barber, Guinan, some rando Vulcan, and, like, the one Tellarite
Livingston.
on board, and Livingston.
Good old Livingston.
That would have been a great hallucination, by the way. Like, Picard just kind of looks around and it's Livingston. He's like,
floating by.
Close.
In a hat.
How are you out of your tank? And he's just got these really long, like, wobbly cartoon legs. And he's like, remember me, Eddie? Hello, Captain. And yes, he does have a hat, which he tips with his fin. And then they sit down to tea together.
Well, it's not my kink, but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it. I
Such
kind
a
of like.
cat.
I kind of. Again, I
I'm trying
like
to
some
keep
of the
him off the
ideas of this
computer.
episode. I like the idea that there's something that's preventing the crew from sleeping. and
Yeah,
that's
the
what's
idea
fucking them up.
of going crazy from sleep is fun.
Yeah.
But
Well, and again, also
I think that the
probably
solution
pretty
was
damn
I think the
realistic.
fact that Troy was the only one that could break through, and the unnecessary other Betazoid.
Yeah.
I don't see how
He didn't
was
serve a purpose.
remotely necessary in this episode.
Yeah, can't you just read minds? Why did he have to be a Betazoid?
And like he never wakes up
'Cause
in
everyone
the
else
episode.
died.
We never meet him.
Nope.
Oh.
No,
Like-
everyone else died because they didn't have because they all went
they
crazy.
weren't
He didn't go
Betazoid.
Like,
crazy.
there was so much wasted screen time of her trying to talk to him.
Although
But
some
hey, you
sort
gotta
of-
give him credit for holding that fucking same face the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah.
A poor actor. What a weird role to play.
It could be that there had been more resolution for his character somewhere in that 9 cut minutes.
But still,
I
if you're gonna
should
cut-
look into what exactly was cut. For
Yeah.
all I know, it was gold.
If you're gonna cut his
I'm sure
screen
it
time,
wasn't.
just cut it all and just have it be that Troy is the only one that's getting any sleep, but she's having these crazy nightmares. And
How would she put it together? Because the only reason she
Well,
figured it
'cause
out
she
is
would
because
go-
he was having the same dream.
She would start.
Or just cut the whole thing and just have the intro and outro.
Yep.
Perfect solution.
I don't know. I think you could have it so that Troy, who is hanging out with Crusher, and Crusher's like, no one seems to be sleeping, and or like no one's dreaming, because that's what she kept saying. She's like, no one's dreaming, and then Troy would be like, well, I've been dreaming, and Crusher would be like, oh, well, that's really interesting, and then Troy's like, well, it's all nightmares, and it's all the same nightmares, and it's a strange voice saying this particular phrase over and over again, and then
I'm floating and terrified.
And then they
go
to the captain, and they're like, hey, we have a theory for what's going on. Everybody else, nobody on board can dream except for Troy, and she's having this one nightmare, and we think that's connected.
Yeah.
You know who else is having one nightmare? Only one, over and over again?
Wesley.
Leah Brahms.
Oh.
So, the real reason they didn't have hydrogen, the most abundant thing in the universe, as you said, is because that's the one that's just 2 dots in a circle. That, they could describe easily, and that they figured the audience might mostly recognize.
So I didn't understand how Falcon's maze works. Is it just like is it like a finger trap?
What are we
No, it just drains energy.
Yeah, but why is there always another ship on the other side?
No, I don't think so.
Falcon's Maze?
Whatever the fucking thing.
The weird
the rift.
anomaly
The
they
rift.
were in.
Falcon's Rift, whatever.
How did you figure out Jake's code?
Because it was the only thing that made sense based on what I knew from the episode.
Falcon's Maze is something. Oh, it's from War Games.
Ah.
It's the
War
game. It's the game that Whopper.
Oh, the Ferris Bueller movie? Matthew Broderick and Molly Ringwald, right?
Was it Molly Ringwald?
Or
No,
Ali Sheedy.
It was
Sorry,
Ali
Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the rift.
Oh yeah, I just think I don't know. It's just
Yeah, I don't think there's always another ship on the other
so
side.
Yeah, I think they figured out
it's
that
just
just-
another random space anomaly, like the other one when they
Yep.
met Dumb Picard.
Yep.
You know, where the ship's getting sucked into a thing, and the only way to escape it is to fly through the center of it.
Look, guys, it was the early 90s. Recycling was all the rage.
Not everybody had VCRs yet, and there was definitely no TiVo and no on-demand, so nobody had the technology to remember every single episode like this.
The nerds did.
That's
They
right,
had
the
their
nerds. The nerds
brains.
always knew. They were transcribing as they watched.
I wonder if they did have vast networks set up across the country, people devoted to, like, every second word that Riker says. And they would all hook it up together and make the scripts.
Take Polaroids of the screen so they could know, like, oh, in this scene you can see there's a pillar where that other thing in the ship was.
So, another thing, can I make a nerd observation?
Please.
Well, let's see here. So the Enterprise uses hydrogen.
Yep.
They eject hydrogen out of the Bussard collectors.
Yep.
It's pink. It's pink hydrogen.
Pink hydrogen. Well,
The rarest kind of hydrogen.
so I'm not sure if this has really been discussed yet. I think it must have. Maybe not. I don't know. But I believe in the future it is made very clear that the titular antimatter, I guess that's not titular. Anyway, the storied matter-antimatter reaction is a reaction of deuterium and antideuterium.
Okay.
Deuterium being hydrogen. So is the hydrogen that they send out of the Bussard collectors just deuterium?
Probably.
Why didn't they say deuterium?
Maybe it's unobtainium.
Because the audience wouldn't know what that is.
But they talk
I agree
about
with
deuterium all the time.
Well, yeah, but they wouldn't. I didn't know deuterium and hydrogen were the same thing.
They're not this. So deuterium, I think it's
Oh,
an
sorry, I just,
isotope
like, touched
of
your
hydrogen.
fingers.
It's like heavy
Pet
hydrogen.
the cat.
It's
Not
got like
me.
an extra. I think it has an extra proton or something like that.
Maybe the implication is like they store hydrogen to convert into deuterium, and this is just some hydrogen they hadn't converted into deuterium
Well, that's
yet.
the thing. I always thought that the Bussard collectors were collecting,
Bussards.
like, where the whole point they were like scoops.
Yeah.
That they were scooping random hydrogen floating in space.
Plankton.
Yeah, but like in theory, they have to turn it into deuterium because some of it will just be straight up
And
hydrogen.
that's true.
It's like a filter feeder.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, plankton, like I
if
said.
Anyway, the whole thing was kind of stupid.
Yeah,
They
a lot of
should've-
the
they
stuff
should have sent the other ship, and we didn't.
could have just blown up the Britain.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have the other aliens to deal with.
No, I know.
All right. Well, is that all we have to say about these things?
I think so.
Probably.
Sweet. Well, anyway, so that was great episodes, guys.
How nice.
This suit is not black.
Next week on Borat. Next week on Asar to Shear Hereby.
We get
a sheep shearing podcast.
We get politicians to say really racist things with very little provocation.
You just do it on their own.
Yeah, seriously. It's
You
like,
just record it.
you don't even have to trick. It's like, hi, I'm... And then just so many racial slurs. It's like, wow.
Well, but you heard about Sacha Baron
I did,
Cohen's.
yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that
Oh,
you
I
know. Ow! Hi, Black Cat.
What did he do?
He stepped on my foot, that's all. He clawed my
he's
toe.
so heavy, too.
No, it's because he like cooked a claw into
What a
my...
Oh,
jackass.
black cat.
No, he didn't mean to.
He meant it.
Anyway, what is
Oh,
the
alright,
Sacha
maybe he
Baron
did.
Cohen news?
All
I
right.
don't know, he made some new show
Yeah,
where
he
he like
did
got
a
a
show.
bunch of politicians to like say the N-word.
No, that's his
More to
next
it.
show. Sacha Baron Cohen makes politicians say the N-word. Anyway, Jake, what's up next week?
Next week on our show, we'll be talking about 2 episodes of the Star Trek The Next Generation show. First, it's a crisis of identity in
Identity crisis?
Whoa.
Clever.
Girl.
Followed by a return of Starfleet's second creepiest engineer in The Nth Degree.
Argyle?
No, Barkley.
Oh. In that case, Caitlin has to definitely go back and make sure she watches Hollywood.
Yeah, because it's not going to make a lot of sense.
Well, we're done early. I might have to go watch it tonight.
You should.
I said that last time.
You want to watch it right now?
No.
Apparently not.
So, The Nth
I'll watch it with
Degree
you.
and Identity Crisis.
Identity.
Identity.
Crisis.
Oh, that's right. Funny.
Teeny pods.
So that's coming up next time. Until then, you can find our podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google,
Start Google.
and other podcast places. You can subscribe to our Facebook page by going to Facebook and finding our page and clicking subscribe or like or whatever the button says. Just click it.
Give us money.
Click it or tick it.
Just give me.
You can also find us on Twitter and Tumblr. Tubular.
Tubular.
Tumblr, I hardly know
Twitter and Tumblr, where our name is SSHB Podcast. And I think possibly by now there's a new article up there about the some of the fanfics
Oh, those
we
are
did.
those are going to have been up for a while now.
Yeah,
Jay.
so the fanfics.
if you missed it, definitely go take a look.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but we didn't talk. I don't think we mentioned it in our previous week's episodes for
no
some
one
reason.
no one will know that what order we record
we
things in.
didn't,
We're so clever.
We didn't mention it before, so we're mentioning it now. So if you haven't been to our Tumblr,
Wait, have we been recording?
shoot.
For 100 episodes now.
What?
So next week on episode 101, we'll do those 2 episodes, which, by the way, is 5 in binary.
There we go.
We'll be doing these 2 episodes. So
5.
there you go. That's it. My name has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
This is always Caitlin.
I am not a warrior. I am afraid.
They've changed colors. Why didn't he give the death scream to the critter?
Why doesn't what would is? I wonder if Worf says that when he's driving. He comes up to like a red light. He's like, it's changed colors. Just go, Worf. Just drive.
Like the Mormons and their fancy underpants. Cadets have special sleeping
What
underpants.
are the Mormons' underpants?
The Mormons have some special underwear that they're supposed to wear.
Yes, it's true.
Why?
I don't know.
What is it?
Because
I don't
Joseph Smith made up some bullshit.
Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say
why.
because they're fucking.
I need to
Mormons.
know more about this.
Well,
Nothing
there's
to do with
a
this
wonderful website called Wikipedia that I can recommend.
Also,
What's the site?
Wikipedia.
It's also, but it's also like it's not. I don't know if it's special underwear. It's like it is some kind of vestment. It's
Is it monogrammed?
It's religious in nature.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'm just gonna look
It's some
it up.
sort of vestment that
you
they
can
wear
also
under their
check
clothes.
at your local library.
Do 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 do.
I mean, there's certain like sects of Judaism where they also wear special garments under the clothes.
One of the first things that
It's
comes
not
up.
that uncommon.
All right, now that we've alienated all our Mormon listener.
By listener. Oh shit. Okay.
Well, I'm
it
just
is.
statistically, the number of listeners we have is how many Mormons there are. There can't be that many Mormon listeners.
Honestly, if you're listening to the show and you're a Mormon,
A Mormon. A Mormon.
Yeah, you're probably lapsed as hell anyway.
Female.
Anyway, speaking of female,
You're
back
on
to
the
this
wrong
episode.
show.
No,
buddy.
it's a type of underwear worn by adherents of the Latter-day Saint movement after they have taken part in the endowment ceremony. Does that mean these underpants make your dick bigger? Garments are
Anyway,
worn both day and night and are required for any adult who previously participated in the endowment ceremony to enter a temple. The undergarments are viewed as a symbolic reminder of the covenants made in temple ceremonies and are seen as a symbolic and or literal source of protection from the evils of the world.
so let's talk about how gross Geordi was in this episode,
So it's
and how the
also
episode
not
forgave
every
him.
Mormon. It's
Sometimes-
only-
Jake!
Well, we didn't finish that conversation. I want to finish that conversation, then we move on.
I think Mom and Dad think the conversation's over.
Frickin-
I'm sorry I yelled at you, Jake. Are you
No,
okay?
That's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Adolf.
I know.
What? He called his wife Hitler? What am I on speakerphone?
That's a Curb Your Enthusiasm joke.